The old storybooks are full of tales of brave knights, of castles filled with treasure, and of the great, fire-breathing dragon that guards it all. We see a monster of greed and rage, but what if we have been reading the story all wrong? What if the dragon is not a villain, but an ancient, intelligent being whose only desire is to be left alone? Tonight, we ignore the fairy tales. We will feel what it's like to have a mind older than mountains and to be burdened by the noisy, irritating arrival of the age of man. Before we begin, take a deep breath and let the room grow quiet. If these soft journeys bring you peace, feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is there. It's always comforting to know who's resting alongside us tonight. Now, close your eyes and let the wilderness unfold. You awaken. But it is not the awakening of a mortal creature. There is no sudden jolt from a dream, no gentle stirring in a soft bed. For you, waking is a process as slow and as grand as a geological age. For the last 50 years, you have slept, a great, still mountain within a mountain. Your consciousness, vast and slow, has been dormant, a quiet, slumbering sea. Now, the first ripple stirs upon its surface. It is not a thought. It is not a sensation. It is simply a shift, a slow return of awareness to your colossal form, like an ancient continent realizing it still exists. You feel the immense, unbelievable weight of your own body, a weight that has been a constant for millennia, pressing down upon the cool, hard bed beneath you. Your first conscious act is to simply be, to re-inhabit the geography of yourself after decades of quiet, dreamless non-existence. You are in your lair, a vast cavern deep in the heart of the highest, most inaccessible peak in this mountain range. The air here is ancient and still, untouched by the winds of the outside world. It is cool and dry, and it carries the faint, clean, metallic scent of gold and the sharp, mineral tang of the stone that is your home. For a long time, you simply lie there, your awareness slowly expanding, relearning the shape of the darkness around you. The only sound is a profound and absolute silence, a silence so deep it has its own texture, its own weight. This silence has been your most constant companion for thousands of years. It is the silence of the deep earth, the quiet of a place beyond the reach of the noisy, temporary world. It is the silence of true solitude, the peace that you have always treasured above all else. But something is different. As you're hearing, a sense so acute it can feel vibrations through solid rock, slowly comes online. You detect a new element in the silence. It is not a sound, not yet. It is a faint, rhythmic wrongness, a distant, almost imperceptible vibration that travels through the mountains, stone, and into your bones. It is a tiny, irritating pulse in the great, deep quiet you call home. You do not know what it is. In your last waking period, a century ago, the silence was pure. Now it has a flaw in it, a tiny, persistent imperfection, and your ancient, slow mind begins to turn towards this new mystery, this disruption of your long and perfect peace. Your awareness now settles fully into your physical form. You take a moment to reacquaint yourself with the magnificent, ancient vessel that houses your consciousness. You feel the surface of your own hide, the interlocking scales that cover your entire body. Each scale is the size of a knight's shield, forged not of metal, but of a biological mineral as hard as obsidian. They are cool and smooth to the touch, and you can feel where they are scarred and pitted from battles fought in a forgotten age, from the friction of stone over 1,000 years of sleep. This is your armor, a living geology that has protected you since the world was younger and filled with other, greater beasts than the small, soft things that now scurry in the valleys below. It is a body that feels less like flesh and more like a part of the mountain itself, a creature of stone and time. But within this cold, stone-like exterior, you feel the gentle, steady thrum of your own internal fire. Deep within your colossal chest, a slow, controlled, and almost silent fusion reaction takes place. It is not the hot, angry, raging fire of a volcano, but a low, deep, and profoundly powerful hum, like the engine of a star. This is the source of your warmth, the power that keeps your ancient blood moving, the fire that you can, when needed, unleash upon the world. But now, it is just a gentle, comforting presence, a private sun in the cold darkness of your mountain lair. The feeling is one of immense, contained power, of a strength so vast that it needs no expression. It is the quiet confidence of a being that has no rivals, no predators, and nothing to fear. You allow a single, slow, conscious thought to travel the length of your body, down your immense back to the great, leathery wings that are folded like ancient, forgotten maps against your sides. You feel their immense weight, the power coiled within their muscles. You feel the sharpness of your own great claws, each one a dagger of black, volcanic glass, resting motionlessly on the bed of gold beneath you. These are the tools of your power, instruments of impossible destruction that have not been used for a very long time. You have had no need of them. For centuries, your only desire has been for the simple, profound peace of a long and undisturbed sleep. But you feel them now, a quiet reminder of what you are, a silent promise of the power you can wield if this new, irritating vibration in your world proves to be a threat to your peace. You shift your immense weight, a movement so slow it is almost imperceptible, and as you move, you hear and feel the response of your bed. It is a sound like a million tiny, metallic bells, a soft and musical chime that echoes through the great cavern. It is the sound of a mountain of gold coins shifting beneath you. You are sleeping on a bed of treasure. You feel the cool, smooth, hard surfaces of the countless gold and silver coins pressing against your warm underbelly. You feel the sharp, angular beauty of the great, uncut gems, the rubies, the emeralds, the diamonds that are mixed among the coins. The hoard is vast, a sea of wealth that has been gathered over millennia, a treasure that would make the small, frantic kings of the human world lose their minds with greed. But you are not a human king. You do not hoard this treasure out of greed. The concept of wealth is a strange and trivial notion to you, a game played by creatures who live for only a handful of seasons. The purpose of your hoard is much simpler and much more practical. You hoard gold and gems for the same reason a bird hoards twigs for its nest. It is your bedding. You are a creature who lives for thousands of years and whose slumber can last for a century or more. Wood rots, hay turns to dust, cloth disintegrates. Only two things in this world are permanent enough to serve as a proper bed for a being like you: stone and the soft, noble metals that do not tarnish or decay. You have chosen the more comfortable of the two. This bed of gold is clean. It is cool. It is permanent. It is the only mattress that can endure the immense weight of your body and the slow passage of the ages. You open your inner eyelid, a thin, translucent membrane, and you look down at the treasure beneath you. You are not seeing wealth, you are seeing history. You idly push a single, long claw through the coins, and you see the faces of the men who are stamped upon them, You see a coin with the profile of a long-dead Roman emperor whose empire crumbled to dust while you were last asleep. You see a heavy silver coin from a forgotten kingdom of the north. You see a beautiful golden ducat from a city of merchants far to the south. To you, these are not treasures. They are geology. They are history. They are the collected, glittering dust of the small, temporary civilizations you have outlasted. They are a quiet and comfortable reminder of your own immense, unshakable permanence in a world of fleeting, noisy things. You now focus your immense hearing on that new, faint, and irritating vibration that disturbed your slumber. You filter out the familiar sounds, the gentle hum of your own internal fire, the whisper of air currents at the mouth of your high cave, the groan of the mountain itself. You focus only on the new sound. As your consciousness attunes to it, it resolves itself. It is a distant, rhythmic clang, 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 a sharp, metallic sound that is utterly alien to the natural world. It is the sound of a hammer striking an anvil. It is the sound of a human at work. You turn your great head, a movement that causes a small avalanche of gold coins to cascade down your side, and you listen more intently. The sound is coming from the valley, many miles below. It is small, but it is persistent, and it is new. You remember the world as it was before your last slumber, a century ago. It was a quieter world. The only sounds were the sounds of nature, the howl of the wind through the high passes, the roar of the river in the valley, the cry of a wolf pack on a winter's night. The world was a symphony of natural, organic, and beautiful sounds. The human presence was a small and fleeting thing then, a few scattered tribes of hunter-gatherers who lived in tune with the forest, who moved with a relative quiet, and who knew with a deep and fearful wisdom to stay far away from your mountain. They were a part of the world's music. This new sound, this persistent, metallic, and industrious clang is different. It is a noise. It is the sound of a creature that is not living with the world, but is trying to beat it into a new shape. You feel an emotion that you have not felt for a very long time. It is not anger, it is not fear, it is a deep, profound, and weary annoyance. These small, soft, short-lived creatures in the valley below, they are becoming more numerous. They are becoming louder. Their world, with its strange, sharp angles, and its persistent, metallic noises, is expanding, and its noise is beginning to intrude upon the sacred, absolute silence of your mountain home. You have outlasted ice ages. You have watched mountains rise and fall, but you have never had to contend with a neighbor this irritating. A deep, low rumble begins in your chest, the first quiet stirring of the fire within, a sigh of pure, ancient frustration. The annoyance at the new, persistent sound combines with another, much older, and more powerful feeling that is now rising within you. It is the slow, deep, and patient awakening of your hunger. After decades of deep, motionless slumber, the immense reserves of energy within your body have been depleted. The great, slow-burning fire in your chest needs new fuel. Draconic hunger is not the frantic, gnawing pain of a mortal creature. It is a geological process, a slow, building pressure from within, a signal that your long stasis is ending and that you will soon need to replenish your immense power. It is a quiet, deep, and powerful calling that cannot be ignored. The feeling starts as a low, warm hum in your belly, a pleasant stirring of your internal fire. Over the course of the day, it will grow into a great, roaring need, a desire that will finally drive you from the comfort and safety of your lair and into the skies of the world outside. The combination of these two things, the irritating, persistent noise from the valley below, and the deep, rising hunger from within, solidifies a decision in your ancient mind. It is time. It is time to leave the perfect quiet of your cave. It is time to stretch your great wings in the open sky. It is time to remind the small, noisy creatures of the world that the mountains still have a king, and, most practically, it is time to find a substantial meal, a meal large enough to allow you to come back here and sleep for another 100 years, you hope, with a deep and weary optimism that when you next awake, the noisy, metallic age of the little creatures will have passed, and the world will have returned to its proper, beautiful silence. You make your first true movement in over 50 years. You lift your great head, a movement that sends a river of gold and jewels cascading down your neck and shoulders. The sound echoes in the vast cavern. You stretch one colossal leg, your diamond-hard claws scraping against the stone floor beneath the gold, and then you slowly, deliberately, begin to unfurl one of your immense, leathery wings. The sound is like the unfolding of an ancient map, like the groaning of a great, old ship. A fine dust of gold, collected over a half-century of sleep, falls from its surface, glittering in the faint, internal light of the cavern. The story of the day is about to begin. You are awake, and you are hungry. Far below your high, silent mountain sanctuary, in the world of men, a different kind of story is beginning. It is a story of ambition, of glory, and of a profound misunderstanding of the world. Its hero is a young knight named Sir Kellen. He is the epitome of the youthful vigor of his species, strong, brave, his face handsome and earnest, his eyes bright with a fire that you would find both admirable and amusingly fleeting. We see him now, standing in the great torchlit hall of a human king, his steel armor polished to a brilliant, mirror-like shine. The armor is heavy, intricately engraved, a testament to the human art of war and defense. On his shield is painted the sigil of his house, a roaring lion, a symbol of a courage he is about to test against a power he cannot possibly comprehend. He kneels before his king, a small, bearded man covered in furs and gold, and accepts the quest. He will climb the great, forbidden mountain. He will find the lair of the terrible dragon, and he will slay the beast that haunts the kingdom's legends. The entire court erupts in a great, roaring cheer. It is a loud, chaotic, and emotional sound, so different from the deep silence of your own world. Kellen rises, his heart swelling with pride and purpose. He is the champion, the hero. He does not see the fear in the eyes of the older courtiers, the ones who have heard the true stories of the mountain, the stories of men who go up but never come down. He sees only the adoring gaze of the princess, the approving nod of the king, the path to his own immortality through legend and song. He is armed not just with a sword and shield, but with a powerful and dangerous certainty, a belief in his own strength and the absolute righteousness of his cause. He is the hero, you are the monster. In his mind, the story is already written, and it is a very simple one. His journey begins at dawn, at the great stone gates of the castle. He rides a powerful war horse, his banner flying, the hopes of the kingdom on his shoulders. He travels through the farmlands, past the small villages of wood and thatch, and the common folk come out to cheer him, to throw flowers in his path. They see a savior, a protector. He is the embodiment of their collective hope to conquer the wild, to push back the darkness, to make the entire world as safe and as predictable as their own small fenced-in fields. He is the agent of their world, a world of right angles, of straight roads, of walls and boundaries. As he leaves the last of the farmlands behind and enters the foothills of your mountain, the cheers fade, replaced by the quiet of the wilderness. The air grows cooler. The path grows steeper. He is leaving his world now, and he is entering yours. The ascent is an ordeal. Kellen's journey is no longer a triumphant parade, but a slow, arduous, and painful struggle against the mountain itself. The immense weight of his steel armor, which felt so powerful and reassuring in the king's hall, is now a terrible, crushing burden. Each step upwards is a feat of will, the 60 pounds of metal a constant anchor pulling him back towards the earth. The air, which you breathe with such patient efficiency, is a thin and hostile element to him. It burns in his lungs, leaving him gasping and lightheaded. The cold, a familiar and neutral presence to you, seeps into his bones, a relentless enemy that his thick woolen cloak can only temporarily hold at bay. He is a creature of the warm, thick air of the lowlands, a fragile being pushing himself into a world for which he is not designed. The mountain does not welcome him. It actively resists him. The gentle foothills give way to treacherous scree slopes, where every step sends a cascade of loose rock skittering down into the mist below. He must cross patches of ancient, shaded ice, his metal-shod boots finding no purchase, his every muscle straining to keep his balance. The wind, which you ride with such effortless grace, is his enemy. It howls through the high passes, a physical force that threatens to tear him from the narrow ledges, a constant, roaring assault on his senses and his resolve. His beautiful, polished armor is now scratched and dented. His face, once so full of confident pride, is now etched with lines of weariness and a growing, gnawing doubt. He is not just climbing, he is fighting the mountain, and the mountain, with its immense, patient, and indifferent strength, is winning. This physical struggle is mirrored by a psychological one. The profound silence of your high domain, a silence you treasure, is a torment to him. In the valleys, the world was full of the familiar sounds of men and animals. Here, the only sounds are the roar of the wind, the rattle of a falling stone, and the loud, desperate pounding of his own heart in his ears. The silence is unnerving. It feels watchful. Every dark shadow cast by a jagged rock looks like the entrance to a lair. Every gust of wind sounds like the whisper of a great, leathery wing. The simple, heroic story he believed in is beginning to crumble, replaced by the grim, terrifying reality of this immense, ancient, and utterly indifferent wilderness. His bravado is being worn away, layer by layer, by the cold, the altitude, and the immense, terrifying quiet. What drives him onward? What force is strong enough to make this small, fragile creature endure such hardship? It is the power of a story. As he rests, huddled behind a rock outcropping to escape the relentless wind, his mind replays the legend that has brought him here. It is a simple tale, told for generations around the hearths of his people. It is the story of a great, evil dragon, a monster of immense greed and terrible fire, who sleeps upon a stolen hoard of gold in the heart of the mountain. In the story, the dragon is a blight upon the land, its very presence a source of fear and darkness. The story says, the dragon demands tribute, that it burns villages, that it is a creature of pure, malevolent chaos. It is a story designed to make sense of the world, to give a name and a face to the fear of the dark, wild, and unconquerable places of the world. This legend is the foundation of his quest, but his motivation is more personal. We can see into his mind and feel the burning fire of his ambition. He is not just here to save the kingdom. He is here to save himself from a life of quiet obscurity. He dreams of the glory that will come with his victory. He imagines his triumphant return, presenting the great, fearsome head of the dragon to the king. He hears the bards already composing the songs that will bear his name, songs that will be sung for 100 years. He sees the adoring face of the princess, her hand promised to the hero who can free the land from its ancient fear. His quest is driven by a very human, very short-lived, and very powerful form of desire, the desire to become a legend, to have his own short, fleeting life echo in eternity. And here lies the profound misunderstanding, the unbridgeable gulf between his world and yours. He is hunting a monster from a fairy tale, a simple character in a simple story of good versus evil. He has no concept of you as an ancient, intelligent being who is simply trying to sleep. He cannot imagine that your stolen hoard is just your bed, that your reign of terror is just your desire for quiet, that your malevolence is just your profound annoyance at being disturbed. His entire quest, his immense struggle, his burning ambition, is all based on a complete and total fiction, a story his people have told themselves for so long that they have forgotten it is just a story. He is risking his life to fight a character in a book, utterly unaware of the true, vast, and indifferent nature of the author. While the night struggles up the side of your mountain, you are miles above him, a silent, dark shape soaring on the high currents. You have left your lair, your hunger finally driving you to the sky. Your flight is effortless, a thing of pure joy and power. You ride the wind as a boat rides a wave, your great wings making only minor adjustments to guide your path. You are on your own hunt, but you are in no hurry. You are scanning the world below, not just with your eyes, but with all your senses, taking in the vast, beautiful tapestry of the land, and then you notice it. A tiny, almost imperceptible, glittering speck of light on the side of your mountain, far below. It is a flash of sunlight glinting off a polished, metallic surface. Your vision, a biological marvel, focuses on this anomaly with a mild, detached curiosity. The speck resolves into a shape, a small, two-legged creature, clad in metal, moving with a strange, clumsy determination up the side of your home. You circle once, a great, lazy, 1,000-foot arc, and you observe this tiny intruder. You see its immense effort, the way it struggles for each foot of progress. You see the bright, foolish colors of its banner, a tiny speck of red against the gray stone. You feel a new emotion, one that is a strange and ancient mix of feelings. You feel a profound, almost geological scale amusement. This tiny, fragile, and noisy creature has decided to climb your mountain. It is like an ant deciding to climb a great cathedral. The sheer, audacious, and ultimately meaningless nature of its quest is deeply, quietly, and anciently funny to you. You also feel a faint, distant echo of pity. You can sense its struggle, its fear, its desperate, burning ambition. It is so very full of its own short, frantic, and important story. You feel no anger. You feel no threat. This creature is no more a threat to you than a mouse is to a mountain. It is simply there, a small, temporary, and insignificant feature in your vast and timeless world. You have seen empires rise and fall in the valleys below. You have seen generations of wolves and bears live and die. This small, shiny creature is just another one of them, a fleeting spark of life that will be gone in the blink of your ancient eye. With a final, silent pass, you dismiss it from your consciousness. It is irrelevant. It is uninteresting. You turn your great head, your senses now focused on a much more important matter. The scent of a large herd of wild oxen on a distant steppe. A meal worthy of your attention. You give a great, silent downstroke of your wings and soar away, leaving the tiny, mist-struggling knight far below, completely and utterly alone with his grand, heroic, and entirely mistaken quest. The knight, Sir Kellen, continues his hunt. His world is now a world of signs and portents. He is looking for the things that the legends have told him to look for. He searches for massive, clawed footprints, not knowing that you walk on the pads of your feet as softly as a cat. He searches for great patches of scorched earth, not knowing that you have not used your fire in centuries. He searches for the entrance to a great, dark cave, not knowing that your lair is a warm, geothermal vent at the very peak of the mountain, a place his fragile body could never reach. He finds nothing but cold rock and howling wind. His hunt is a search for a character from a story, and because that character does not exist, his hunt is doomed to fail. He is hunting for a myth, and all he is finding is the harsh, indifferent reality of the mountain. Your hunt is very different. Soaring high above the clouds, you are not looking for signs. You are observing realities. You see a great herd of wild oxen grazing on a vast, green steppe 100 miles away. You do not see them as a challenge or a trophy. You see them as sustenance, as a biological necessity. Your hunt is not for a concept, for a story, for glory. Your hunt is for a meal. You descend from the sky like a silent, dark meteor, your great shadow falling over the unsuspecting herd. There is a moment of panicked chaos, and then a clean and efficient kill. It is not an act of malice. It is an act of nature, a great predator taking its necessary place in the food chain. You have taken one life to sustain your own for another century. It is a simple, honest, and natural transaction. And here lies the final unbridgeable gulf between his world and yours. The knight's hunt is for a story that will give his short life meaning. Your hunt is for a meal that will allow your long life to continue. He wants to end a life to begin his own legend. You want to take a life so you can return to your long, quiet, and peaceful slumber. He is a creature of story, of myth, of ambition. You are a creature of time, of geology, of existence itself. The two hunts, born of two completely different realities, will never intersect. The knight will eventually return to his castle, cold and defeated, with no story to tell but one of failure. And you, your hunger sated, will return to your high, silent lair, to your bed of gold, to once again dream the long, slow, and quiet dreams of a mountain. Let us now explore the secrets of your domain, a kingdom carved out by time and volcanic fire, a place of immense scale that is your fortress, your bedroom, and your museum. Your home is not a simple cave. It is a vast, intricate network of lava, tubes and geothermal caverns deep within the heart of the highest, most inaccessible peak in the mountain range. The entrance is a secret, a narrow fissure on a high cliff face, obscured for most of the year by clouds and violent winds, a doorway that no human could ever hope to reach. Inside, the air is not the frigid, thin air of the high altitudes. It is warm, thick, and humid, and it smells of sulfur, of hot stone, and of ancient, metallic gold. The warmth comes from the earth's own beating heart, a geothermal heat that keeps your lair at a constant, comfortable temperature, a perfect, natural incubator for a creature of your immense, cold-blooded scale. You move through the great, echoing chambers of your home. The walls are not rough stone, they are smooth, black volcanic glass, cooled into strange, beautiful, flowing shapes from the last time the mountain bled its fire, thousands of years before your birth. In some of the larger caverns, the geothermal heat has created warm pools of water, their surfaces steaming gently in the still air. These pools are rich with minerals, and you sometimes lower your great body into them. The warm, sulphurous water, a soothing balm on your ancient scales. In other chambers, the slow, steady drip of mineral-rich water over centuries has formed great, crystalline structures that glitter in the faint ambient light that emanates from the molten rock far below. It is a silent, beautiful, and secret, underground world, a palace of obsidian and crystal that you alone have ever seen. This lair is more than a home. It is a part of you. You know its every passage, every chamber, every secret. You have slept in every one of its great halls. You have warmed yourself by every one of its steam vents. The mountain is not just a place you live in. It is your partner, your co-conspirator in your long, quiet, and solitary existence. It provides you with the warmth you need to survive, the silence you crave for your long slumbers, and the impregnable security that allows you to rest without fear. It is a fortress built by the planet itself, and you are its sole, slumbering, and ancient king. Your kingdom is not limited to the warm, dark heart of the mountain. It extends to the very peaks that scrape the sky. When you emerge from your lair to fly, you enter a different world, one of sharp, clear light, thin, cold air, and breathtaking scale. This is the world above the clouds. From the highest peaks of your mountain range, you can look down upon a vast, soft, white blanket of cloud that covers the entire world of men, the castles, the villages, the forests. The petty squabbles of their short lives, all of it is hidden beneath this gentle, silent sea of white. Up here, there is only you, the rock, the sun, and the wind. It is a world of profound, cleansing peace. You land on one of the highest, most jagged peaks, your great claws finding easy purchase on the ancient granite. The air here is thin and pure, and the sun is a brilliant, unfiltered jewel in a sky of the deepest, darkest blue. You can see the curve of the earth from here. You can see other mountain ranges, hundreds of miles away, their own peaks poking through the clouds like forgotten islands. You feel the wind, your old friend, as it flows over and around you, a constant, powerful, and clean presence. This is your true throne room, your balcony overlooking the world. It is a place of immense power and immense solitude, a place where you can feel the true scale of your own ancient and magnificent existence. This high, silent world is your sanctuary from the noisy, growing world below. Down there, the world is small and green and full of the sounds and smells of other, lesser creatures. Up here, the world is vast and grey and blue and silent. It is a world of stone and sky, a world of permanence and eternity. You are a creature of two homes, the warm, dark, secret heart of the mountain, and its cold, bright, silent crown. Both are yours. Both are a part of you, and both are utterly beyond the reach of the small, scrambling creatures who have begun to infest the valleys so far below. You are a being of immense memory. Your mind holds the history of the world not as it is written in the fleeting books of men, but as it is written in the slow, patient language of stone and ice. As you stand on your high peak, you look down upon the valleys, and you do not just see them as they are now. You see them as they have been for thousands of years. Your gaze falls upon a great, wide valley to the north. a valley that is now filled with the green patchwork of human farms and a single stone castle. But in your mind, you can still see it as it was 3,000 years ago, a single, vast, unbroken forest of ancient oak and pine, a silent, green sea that was home to great herds of deer and giant, shaggy aurochs. You remember the world before, the age of men, a world that was quieter, wilder, and more beautiful. You look to the west, and you see a great, U-shaped valley carved between two mountains. The small, chattering humans who live there now believe it was carved by a river. But you remember the truth. You remember the great, slow, and unstoppable river of ice, the glacier from the last great ice age, that carved that valley with its immense, grinding weight. You were young then, only a few centuries old, and you remember watching the great, white beast of ice retreat, leaving the scarred, naked stone in its wake. You remember the first, brave saplings beginning to grow on the newly exposed earth. You are older than the forests in the valleys below. This is the nature of your existence. You are a living witness to geological time, the rise and fall of human empires, their wars, their kings, their gods. These are to you as the fleeting, changing seasons of a single year. You have watched them arrive. You have watched them build their strange, hard nests of stone and wood, and you have watched them crumble to dust, their great castles becoming nothing more than moss-covered ruins that are slowly reclaimed by the forest. You are not a part of their history. Their history is a small, brief, and noisy chapter in your own long, silent, and unending story. Let us return to your lair, to the great, glittering pile that is your bed. The humans, in their stories, call this your hoard, and they imagine you as a great, greedy miser, a dragon consumed by a lust for gold. This is perhaps the most profound and most amusing of their many misunderstandings. You look at the vast sea of gold coins and precious gems, and you do not see wealth. You see geology. You see interesting, durable, and comfortable rocks. Your motivation for gathering these items is not greed. It is a combination of practicality and a deep, ancient, and very particular sense of aesthetics. It began as a simple need for a bed that would not rot over the course of a century-long slumber. But over the millennia, it has evolved into a quiet, solitary hobby. The collection of a being with an infinite amount of time on its hands. You do not just collect the things that the humans value. In fact, their yellow metal is one of the more boring items in your collection. Your true treasures are the things that tell a deeper story. In one corner of the cavern is a collection of great, beautiful, and strange rocks. A massive, perfectly spherical boulder of granite, worn smooth by a prehistoric river. A great, jagged shard of obsidian, a piece of the mountain's fiery heart from a long-forgotten eruption. A single, immense quartz crystal, as tall as a man, its facets catching the faint light of your internal fire and breaking it into 1,000 tiny rainbows. These are the things you find truly beautiful. They are beautiful because they are old, because they are permanent, and because they tell the true, slow story of the earth itself. The gold and gems of men are just a small and relatively new part of this collection. You gathered them mostly out of curiosity. You would observe the small, frantic creatures fighting and dying for these shiny little pieces of metal, and you could not comprehend why. So you gathered some for yourself, to study them. You found them to be pretty, yes, in a simple, shiny sort of way, and more importantly, they were durable, and they did not rot. So you added them to your bed. You are not a hoarder of wealth. You are a curator of interesting stones. a geologist with an infinite budget and an infinite lifespan. The human obsession with these particular yellow rocks is just one more of their many bizarre, fleeting, and ultimately insignificant little passions. The greatest secret of your habitat, the one you treasure above all else, is its profound and perfect silence. For most of your long existence, this silence has been absolute. Your lair, deep in the heart of the mountain, is a place of perfect stillness. The thick, ancient stone of the mountain absorbs all sound from the outside world, creating a sanctuary of pure quiet. For thousands of years, the only sounds you would ever hear were the sounds of your own slow breathing, the gentle hum of the fire in your chest, the soft chime of your golden bed as you shifted in your sleep, and the deep, resonant, and comforting groan of the mountain itself. This silence is not an emptiness, it is a presence. It is a state of being that allows for your own slow, deep, and ancient thoughts to form without distraction. It is the peace you have fought for. It is the peace you have treasured. But now, that peace is being threatened. The silence is no longer perfect. It has been contaminated. You lie on your bed of gold, and you can still feel it, that faint, distant, and irritating vibration traveling through the rock. Clang, clang, clang. The sound of the human blacksmith in the valley below. It is a tiny sound, a whisper against the immense silence of your world, but it is a persistent whisper. It is the sound of a new age, an age of noise, an age of industry, an age of men. It is the sound of your long, quiet era coming to a slow and irritating end. You know that soon their noise will grow louder, their towns will grow larger, their ambition will drive them further up your mountain slopes. You close your eyes, a deep and weary sigh escaping your nostrils as a puff of grey smoke. You will sleep now, you will sleep for another 100 years, and you hope, with a deep and ancient hope, that when you awaken, the noisy, fleeting fever of humanity will have passed. You hope that their strange stone nests will have crumbled, that their sharp metal sounds will have ceased, that the forest will have reclaimed its own. You hope that the world will have returned to its proper, beautiful, and profound silence. You are a being of immense patience. You have outlasted mountains. You can certainly outlast this small, noisy, and temporary infestation. And so, you let the irritating sound fade from your consciousness, and you descend into the deep, quiet, and familiar peace of your long, long slumber. Your great hunger, awakened after a half-century of slumber, is now a deep and driving force. But it is a patient fire, the hunger of a predator that has no rivals and an infinite amount of time. You soar on the high currents, your destination, 100 leagues away, towards the great, grey, and turbulent sea. The world of men, with its small, unsatisfying livestock and its noisy, fortified castles, holds nothing of interest for you. You hunt where the world is still wild, still clean, still worthy of your attention. You arrive at a remote coastline of high, dark cliffs and churning water, a place where the sea is deep and the prey is large. Your incredible vision, capable of piercing the gloom of the water from a great height, scans the waves. You are looking for the dark, moving shapes of large fish, of seals, or, if you are lucky, a small, lone whale. Today, you are lucky. You spot a young whale, separated from its pod, swimming in the deep channel between two rocky islands. It is a creature of considerable size, a meal that will fuel your slumber for another century. You feel no malice towards it, no thrill of the chase. This is not a battle. It is a harvest. You circle once high above, your great shadow passing over the water, a fleeting cloud that the whale does not notice. You calculate the wind, the waves, and the whale's trajectory with an ancient, intuitive precision. Then you dive. It is not the frantic, scrambling dive of a lesser predator. It is a silent, graceful, and terrifyingly fast descent. Your wings pulled in tight against your body. Your form a great, dark meteor falling from the sky. You enter the cold water with a sound that is not a splash, but a deep, powerful implosion. For a moment, the water churns, and then there is stillness. The hunt is over as quickly as it began. It was not a struggle. It was an act of overwhelming, irrefutable power, a quiet and efficient transaction between the greatest predator of the sky and a creature of the sea. The deep, slow fire in your belly is now sated. A profound and heavy sense of satisfaction settles over you, a feeling of a great and fundamental need finally being met. The driving, nagging voice of your hunger is silenced, replaced by a deep, quiet, and comfortable fullness. You have taken what you needed from the world, and now your only remaining desire is to return to the silence and stillness of your mountain home, to let your great body begin the slow, patient work of turning this immense meal into another century of life. You launch from the surface of the sea, the water cascading from your immense wings in two great waterfalls. You begin your long, majestic flight back towards your mountain range as the sun begins to set. The world below is bathed in the soft, golden light of the late afternoon. You fly high above the coastline, your great wings beating with a slow, powerful, and now slightly heavy rhythm. The journey is long, but to you, it is a brief and pleasant commute. You are a creature of immense distances, and the journey of 100 leagues is nothing more than a quiet, contemplative end to your day of work. The feeling of the cool, clean air flowing over your scales is a pleasant sensation, washing away the salt of the sea. As you fly inland, you once again pass over the world of men. But now, as dusk falls, it has transformed. The small villages and towns are no longer just clusters of wood and stone. They are now sprinkled with tiny, flickering lights. Campfires, torches, the first warm glow from the windows of their small, fragile homes. From your immense height, the world of men looks like a scattering of fallen stars on the dark velvet of the earth. Their great castles, which seem so imposing from the ground, are just children's sand castles from your perspective. Their proud banners, no bigger than a thumbnail, their great walls just small, geometric scratches on the landscape. You see their tiny, straight roads connecting their small, bright pockets of warmth, a strange and temporary web spun across the great, dark, wild world that is your true home. You look down upon this world of flickering lights and frantic, short-lived activity, and you feel nothing. You feel no anger, no curiosity, no connection. You are an ancient, geological force, and they are a brief and noisy biological phenomenon. Their entire civilization, with its kings and its knights, its wars and its songs, is a temporary illness on the skin of the world, a fleeting rash of warmth and noise that the long, slow, and patient passage of time will eventually heal. You have seen other such infestations rise and fall. You have seen great empires of strange creatures come and go. The world of men is just the latest, and in your vast experience, one of the more irritating. But they are also temporary, and so you feel only a profound and unshakable indifference far below you. On the slopes of your own mountain, a single, tiny figure is making his way back down. It is the knight, Sir Kellen. His journey up the mountain was one of heroic ambition. His journey down is one of quiet, bitter failure. The polished steel of his armor is now dented, scratched, and covered in mud. His banner is torn. His body aches with a fatigue that has settled deep into his bones. His heart, which was once so full of the fire of glory, is now a cold, heavy stone in his chest. He did not find the monster. He did not find the great, treasure-filled cave from the legends. He found only rock and wind and a cold, indifferent silence that seemed to mock his very existence. He arrives back at the gates of the castle, not to the sound of trumpets and cheers, but to the quiet, disappointed stares of the guards. He walks into the great hall, his heavy footsteps echoing in the sudden silence. The king looks at him from his throne, his expression not of anger, but of simple, weary disappointment. The princess, who once looked at him with adoration, now looks away. He has no story to tell, no trophy to show. He has nothing but the cold of the mountain still in his bones and the bitter taste of failure in his mouth. He has gambled his life and his honor on a fairy tale, and he has lost. He tried to become a legend, but instead he will become a cautionary tale, a forgotten footnote in the history of a kingdom that will itself be forgotten in time. His story will not be sung by the bards. His name will not be remembered. His short, frantic, and ambitious life will fade away, leaving no trace. This is the ultimate difference between you. His entire world is built on the desperate need for a legacy, for a story that will outlive his own short, fleeting body. You, however, are your own legacy. You have no need for stories, for you are a creature of time itself. You do not need to be remembered, for you will simply be. The night's failure is, from your perspective, as insignificant and as inevitable as a single raindrop falling into the great, wide sea. You arrive at your home. The high, hidden fissure in the mountain face welcomes you like the mouth of a familiar friend. You fold your great wings and slip into the darkness, leaving the cold, open sky behind. You enter the familiar, still, warm air of your lair. The faint, metallic scent of your golden bed, a comforting and unchanging perfume. You feel the last of the day's tension leave your great body. The outside world, with its annoying noises and its fleeting dramas, is gone. You are now in your sanctuary, your fortress of solitude, your silent, warm, and eternal home. You move slowly through the great, dark cavern, your claws making a soft, scraping sound on the obsidian floor, the only sound in the immense quiet. You approach your bed, the great, glittering sea of gold and jewels that fills the center of the cavern. It shimmers and glows with a soft, internal light, reflecting the faint, warm embers of your own deep, internal fire. You lower your immense, full body onto it, a slow and deliberate movement. The sound of 1,000,000 gold coins and precious gems, shifting and settling under your weight, is a soft, musical chime that echoes beautifully through the great hall. It is the only lullaby you have ever known, the only music you have ever needed. The cool, smooth, hard surfaces of the metal and stone are a familiar and pleasant sensation against your warm, soft underbelly. You have returned to your place of perfect, unchanging comfort. You perform a final, slow check of your domain. You extend your senses, your immense hearing, your ability to feel the vibrations of the rock. The mountain is quiet. The distant, irritating clang of the blacksmith's hammer has ceased. The world of men has gone to its own short, nightly sleep. The silence is now pure, as it should be. You find the perfect position on your bed of treasure, your great body coiling into a comfortable, secure circle, your immense, serpentine tail wrapping around your own form. You are a great, dark, circular mountain on a sea of gold. The world is as it should be. All is in order. All is at peace. You are ready for your own long, long rest. The process begins. The great, slow-burning fire in your chest, now sated and fueled for another century, begins to bank low. The roaring furnace that powered your hunt becomes a gentle, glowing pilot light, a single, warm ember at the very core of your being. Your metabolism, a thing of immense power, begins its long, slow, and deliberate descent into a state of near-perfect stasis. Your massive lungs, which took in the high, thin air of the sky, now take a final, deep breath of the still, warm air of your cavern, and then they too grow quiet, your need for oxygen dropping to almost nothing. Your great heart, which beat with a powerful, steady rhythm during your flight, now begins to slow, its beats becoming farther and farther apart, until it is a slow, deep, and almost geological pulse, a single beat every few minutes, then every few hours. You feel your consciousness, that vast and ancient intelligence, begin to recede. The thoughts of the night, of the whale, of the noisy world below, dissolve like mist. Your mind empties itself, becoming as quiet and as still as the cavern around you. You allow your great, leathery eyelid to slowly slide shut. It is like a great curtain falling on the world, a final, deliberate act that separates you from the flow of time for the next 100 years. The last image you see is the faint, warm, and comforting glow of your own treasure hoard, a familiar and unchanging sight. Then there is only the soft, warm darkness. You are not just asleep. You are something more. You have entered the great stillness, a state of being deeper than stone, quieter than the abyss. You have become a part of the mountain once more. You are no longer a creature, but a feature of geology, a still and silent monument in a secret, hidden place. Outside your mountain, the little world of men will live and die. Their kingdoms will rise, they will fight their small, noisy wars, and they will crumble to dust, their castles becoming ruins, their stories forgotten. But you will remain. You will sleep, you will endure, and you will be at peace, a deep, dreamless, and profound peace, indifferent to the small, frantic world that scurries and shouts so very far below you. And now, you too can feel this peace. You can feel the safety of your own comfortable resting place. You can feel the world outside fading away. There is nothing to do. There is nowhere to be. There is only the deep, quiet, and satisfying peace of a long and well-deserved rest.